Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show. Meet the trusted experts who will give you straight answers and will help guide you on the path of later life care. Now, here's your host, founder, caregiver, and CEO, Suzanne Newman.
And welcome back, everyone, to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And we're here with Cory Townsend from the Washington chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. And Cory is the Director of Development and certainly someone that has been an ally here in the greater Seattle area, but also connected throughout the USA. And Cory, I would like to finalize or finish this hour talking to you a little bit about, how do you ask for money? I think one of the things that is kind of daunting for a lot of people, they may work in a position that they're not in sales. They're not in a scenario where this is a comfortable thing to do. And so they feel kind of uncomfortable with that. Do you have any advice for individuals that are dealing with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't come naturally to us to ask for money, I think, in our culture.
Right.
But what I would say is that people are very generous and they want to support causes that they care about.
Mm-hmm.
And by asking them to support you and your walk efforts, you're inviting them to be part of a bigger movement.
Right.
And folks want to be part of that. And so by asking them, you're just giving them the opportunity. And if you don't ask, you're saying no for them. So give them the chance to decide for themselves.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that you really hit on, which I think is important, is that, if you don't ask, right, you can't, and there's different ways of asking. And I think one of the things is like what you said, people want to help in worthwhile causes. And when they know where the money goes, which the great thing about alz.org, you'll see where the money goes and you will understand. You can also look up the Alzheimer's Association under GuideStar and all the different types of, who are they, what do they do? So that they're a legitimate organization, and that's the thing that is important. But you can get creative in raising money. I know, Cory, years ago, I knew somebody that was knitting. She was just a crazy knitter. She was like amazing. And she was knitting hats that she would sell, I believe, on Etsy. She sold them on Etsy, I think, for $20. and she ended up raising through the year something like $5,000 for Alzheimer's disease. I'm sure you've had really amazing stories about people getting creative.
Yeah, fundraising happens all year long. It doesn't happen just the day before the walk. And we invite people to fundraise all year long. Think about what you love doing and what you do for fun. And think about how you might be able to turn that into a fundraiser. You mentioned the knit hats. I think that's great. There's a lot of other ideas. One of the most fun things I've seen is we had a fundraiser host a potluck, and you had to pay entry into the potluck. Now you could make that $5, you could make it $500, whatever works for your folks, right? But invite your friends and family to a potluck, post on social media, send emails to friends, family, coworkers asking for their support, and sharing your story through those channels. There's lots of fun ideas, happy hours, wine tastings. Your local restaurant might be willing to donate 1% back for a night where folks have dinner and give 1% of the total sales.
And I think that's the exciting part of, whenever people come together, it's like find a way to make it fun and also find a way to get creative. I think one of the things that you mentioned, which is great, how often do we have a social gathering once a year, I think we had a Moroccan party this summer, and we had about 40 people here going in and out. I should have been smart. Why didn't we do something, to have a collection jar or, thank you so much, or, donate for Alzheimer's disease? It would be something really simple and certainly not hard. The other thing, we talked about sharing a story. If you don't have a story, I'm venturing to guess you know someone who has a story. Team up with them.
Yeah.
Help, get a team together and say, you know what, would you mind if I share your story of this has happened, it's touched your life. This is what it's meant to you, the fact that you would do this. And I think that's the important part of, getting involved in doing something for the community. And I know for me, nothing makes me more thrilled is to know that I've made a difference. And you are making a difference by participating. It will live with you onward for the rest of your life, knowing, I did that. I raised $5,000 that year. And it's easy. It's not hard. It's just a matter of being a little more mindful about, how you can do it. I think other people, they're just saving, money that they would have done of something else if money's tight and put it in a little jar. Maybe you have a swear jar. Maybe you have something else in your house. Those things it's amazing how the money adds up.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's people all across the country that are coming up with creative fundraisers, and it doesn't have to be a big event. It doesn't have to be
No,
complicated. One of
no.
my favorite fundraisers that I ever hosted. Um, I'm not a great cook. I do okay, but I'm not great. And I invited a bunch of my friends over to my house for me to cook dinner for them, but they didn't have to come if they made a donation. And I had great takeout by myself that night and raised over $2,000.
I love it. And there you go. And I love the fact that, your friends are that supportive. And it's just because you ask. I think that it's really amazing that every single time that we can be, a little more mindful of how we are conducting ourselves as far as in the world. And really, we can make a difference in every scenario. And so, Cory, in our closing here, tell people how they can register and how they can join a team.
Yeah, so join us at the Walk to End Alzheimer's. You can register at alz.org/walk. Be part of a movement, be part of a solution, and change the course of this disease with us.
Absolutely. And Cory and I, it's just been so great to have you on the show. I'm so glad you're still part of this. You've been an amazing partner here in the greater Seattle area, and I'm honored to know you.
Thank you. Great to be with you.
You make a difference. Think about how you can get creative. Join us at the Walk to End Alzheimer's. The big walk in Seattle is on Saturday, 28th of September at Seattle Center. There's also walks throughout Western Washington and throughout the USA, everywhere, Eastern Washington, you name it. So we would love to have you join us. And Cory, thank you again for being on the show. Let's work together and help fund a cure in supporting the Walk to End Alzheimer's this year, and learn more and donate by visiting alz.org or just call 800-272-3900. That's alz.org or 800-272-3900.